Once you find yourself in conflict with a narcissist, it's a virtual guarantee they're going to start playing head games with you. That's why I put together a new course. It's very extensive called Anger Games. I'm going to teach you how to manage anger and conflict with a narcissist. There's a link below that's going to show you how to register, and I hope that you find it to be very insightful. I want to begin today with a very simple and overwhelmingly obvious thought that says, in no relationship will we agree 100% of the time. It's not a shock, and it's not something that should make us worry and feel like everything's terrible. We think differently. That's okay. Now, I say that we shouldn't be shocked by something like that, but narcissists have a great deal of difficulty in digesting that truth. Beneath the surface, narcissists are driven by their own selfishness, their egotism, their need for control, their entitlement, their craving to be in the superior position. They have lots of invalidation toward you. But under all of that, there's a pathological insecurity. You don't want to be fooled by their sense of certainty and their bravado and their determination to make things happen the way they want. These individuals have a great deal of difficulty in saying, you and I differ, then let's come to terms with that. We can be okay despite that. Now, let me give you some real simple illustrations of what I'm talking about, and every one of you has been through something like this. For example, in any relationship, you need to coordinate schedules and prioritize what's going to be done first, etc. Or you're going to manage a wide array of disciplines, whether it's inside the home, how you're going to manage the day's schedule, or discipline the kids, or family gatherings, or whether you're in an organization. There's all sorts of things that need to be tended to, and sometimes we're not going to be on the same page with respect to that. As we get to know one another, it becomes clear that we each have different values or principles or standards or values or beliefs and opinions. And it's like, well, we're going to need to figure out how to maneuver through all of that. There are simply times when we're going to be different and distinct. And this brings us to the use of one simple word, and that's the word no. Sometimes as we are talking about how we're going to coordinate life, someone is going to say the word no. No, you and I don't share the same priorities, or no, what you want me to do doesn't work for me, at least not right now, or no, my opinions are quite different from yours, and I'm going to stick with what I believe, or no, I'm not going to rearrange my schedule or my priorities or my preferences just to suit you, or no, I can't back you up in what you're trying to make me do. Sometimes you just need to say the word no. Now, healthy individuals, when we get to the place where we say no to one another, can say, okay, let's figure out what plan B is going to be. And there's an open-mindedness, and there's a willingness to figure out how to find some sort of middle ground. The narcissist is thinking, wait. Did you just tell me no? Is that what I just heard from you? How dare you? And they feel insulted if you use the word no towards them. With healthy individuals, they can think, well, we differ. And that's not a shock. That's not something that surprises me. The narcissist, however, thinks, well, all I know is you've rejected me and I'm insulted and I'm not going to allow that to stand. That's how they interpret no. Or when healthy individuals encounter the word no, they think, well, I can still maintain my composure. And the narcissist, when they hear the word no, what you're going to find out is, watch how quickly I'm going to unravel, and it's going to be ugly. So we can see that narcissists put an extremely high premium on authority and control, their authority and control. And this means that they have little to no appreciation for your freedom or your privilege to choose for yourself and to determine how you're going to manage your life. Instead, they think, well, I have to have my way. I have to have the final word, and I'm going to invalidate you if you don't allow me to have what I want. And they're like that little kid that wants to say no, and they can't stand it when someone says, "No, that's not the way it works around here." Now, let's slow down on that and ask, what in the world possesses the narcissist in their mind that prompts them to be so threatened by that little bitty word no? I mean, they hate the word. Well, what it tells us, and it tells us a lot about where they are, when narcissists can't hear the word no, or they can't deal with it, it says first they have an almost complete lack of objectivity. In other words, truth. It's go back to that opening statement. We're not going to agree on everything, and it's like, well, then we have to. And it's like, but truth says it's not the case. Well, then subjectivity takes over, but my emotion tells me something different, and they're driven by illogical emotion. On top of that, it tells us that narcissists have lots of anger on the inside, just waiting for a reason to come out. In other words, there tends to be, when you say no and then they become angry, what that tells me is they've been sitting on a whole lot of anger that may have absolutely nothing to do with you for a long time. And it's like, okay, here's my chance to bring it out. And so, the world is against me, or I can't stand it when people are so disagreeable. And there's probably a deep root system to all of that. They displace their frustrations that they've been storing for a long time. They project their unfinished business into you, and they accuse you of problems that they can't come to terms with. Their response to your no also reveals how fear-based they are. It's like, man, they're super threatened by the fact that you're just simply different. It's like, I can't handle that. That scares me. Now, they won't put it in those words. They'll come at you in an offensive kind of way, but their defensiveness says, no, I'm highly threatened. I'm fear-based. Also, their inability to accept no reveals how fragile their ego is. And that's an understatement. They have a strong need for personal validation. So when you say no, they don't hear, hey, I've got some other things to tend to. They hear rejection, like I mentioned earlier. Or inevitably, when they respond poorly to no, they also reveal that they have no empathy. When I say no empathy, zero. It's like, well, wait a minute. If you're saying no, and I'm over here thinking differently, there must be something going on inside of you that differs from me. Let me see if I can step into your world, and let me see if I can step into your way of thinking and reasoning and learn something. I want to know what life is like from your vantage point. When was the last time that narcissists took that kind of approach toward you? And the answer is, it doesn't happen. They can't think this way. It doesn't even occur to them to think, well, I need to learn better about your perspective on things. They don't think that way. In addition, when they respond poorly to your no, it tells us that they view the relationship as a competition. One of us has to be right. One of us has to be wrong. One of us is the winner. One of us is the loser. And I think you can kind of guess what designation is already pre-assigned to you. They can't think, well, despite the fact that we have a no here in front of us, we're still on the same team. And so we still can figure out how we can coordinate and harmonize despite the fact that we don't think on the same wavelength. In fact, that can actually be a good thing because we can stretch each other's thinking. That doesn't even cross their mind. And then in addition, their poor response to your no reveals their sense of psychological ineptitude. By them unraveling at your no, it's their way of saying, I have no idea how to manage emotions that are outside my tight little box. I feel incompetent. I don't know what to do. And again, they won't say that, but the fact that they just keep going back to insistence upon their own certainty says, that's the only thing I know what to do with. So, when you get to the point where it's still necessary for you to say no and hold on to your no, you have options. You can be very appropriate in the way that you maintain your no, or you can be inappropriate. For example, and of course the question is, which one are you going to choose? You can argue with them, needlessly, I might add. You can press your point. You can defend yourself vigorously. You can express dismay. I can't believe that you would be saying this kind of thing. What's going on with you? You can try to find holes in their logic. You can plead, and you can coerce, and you can convince. You ever done that? And the answer is, oh yeah, you probably have done that way, way too many times. And then, of course, we can ask, does it work? Or is it like having your shovel and just digging the hole deeper? Instead, you can still hold on to your no and cling to what I refer to as calm firmness. There are simply times when you're going to have to think, no, we differ, and I'm sticking with my plans. No, I know that that's important to you, but I have some other things that I need to tend to. And you can just be very bland in the way that you say that. Or you may not say, but you can think it. Or no, I have other commitments and priorities that I need to tend to. Or no, I've thought through my intentions and I'm very comfortable with my conclusions. And I'm hoping there can be this sense on the inside of you that says, if they want to be rattled and if they want to have such insecurity and illogic leading the way, that's on them. And I'm not going to be able to change that. And then you're just going to use the nonetheless approach when they give you the predictable blowback, because they're going to come back and say, well, you can't do this and you can't be this way. Well, nonetheless, that's where I am. We're not on the same page. It looks like we have a stalemate here, or I have some other things that I still need to tend to, and I don't have anything new to add. As I explain myself, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And they cannot deal with that. And when they just keep pushing, well, nonetheless, that's the decision I've made. Now, in order to do this, in order to maintain this healthy approach to the word no, you're going to need to make room for ambiguity. In other words, loose-endedness. The narcissist can't, and you're going to walk away, and they're going to walk away knowing that we're not tied down. But then at the same point, it's like, when agreement is absent, I'm still comfortable being me. The narcissist is not comfortable with you. That's on them. I trust myself. Now, I hope that videos like this can help you figure out the wisest way to respond to a narcissist when they bring all their chaos. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. We're going to keep more videos coming towards you, and I appreciate you allowing me to be on your journey with you. Sometimes when you're in this situation where the contrast between you and that person are so stark that you might need somebody to help you unravel it, a therapist. I've been sponsored for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. It's a whole team of licensed professional therapists, and all you have to do is go through the link that we have below the video and answer a few questions, and you get to select the therapist that can work with you. It can be so good for someone to say, let's talk about who you are, what makes sense to you, who you want to be, how you want to respond, and get this figured out in a clean and healthy way. Get the help that you need. Likewise, many of you know I have my courses that are online classes, and you can take them at whatever pace you want. You can share them with whoever you want. They're very extensive. Each class, each online course has at least 25 teaching videos, along with, and each video has has handouts and guided questions. We have the anger games. We have Ready, Set, Connect. We have This Is Me, free to be, and you can go underneath and click on the links to each one of those and get some information. Also on my website, we have access still to my webinars that I've presented, and we're adding to that list. The webinars are 90-minute presentations. They're very popular, strong PowerPoint presentations, and so make yourself available to that, as well as our podcasts, many articles, my books, lots of resources. Okay, the word no can bring out reasonableness in people who will say, okay, let's figure out where we're going to go. Or the word no is highly threatening to people, especially those who have that strong narcissistic bent. You're going to get to see the level of maturity a person has when that word comes into the equation. And with narcissists, it's not pretty. But nonetheless, stay true to who you are. And I'm hoping that in doing so, it can allow you to become a person of steadiness and peace. And I'm hoping that you can be the kind of person that says your inability to manage no does not have to become that which is going to rob me of my peace. I'm not going to let that happen. By the way, Gus said no to sleeping on the blanket today. Imagine that. Anyway, I hope you can find your peace.